Good afternoon, everyone, and as always, welcome to Africa and welcome to Djuma Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands here in the Greater Kruger National Park. It is a privilege to have you as our guest and looking forward to a fantastic live safari afternoon, and I'm sure you're going to have fun with us. As always, we don't know what's going to happen. We saw this again yesterday, and we'll see what happens this afternoon. In short, my name is Peter Pretorius, Brian behind the camera. Brian, always nice to be in the vehicle with you. Will Graham and the whole team back at control. And HT and VM are already out there. They're looking for things. You will see them shortly. And I just want to get out there. We've had such incredible surprises the last two drives, so I have no idea what's going to happen today, and looking forward to seeing what we have on offer. It's a stunning afternoon. Little sort of postcard clouds around, blue skies, wildlife is out and about, so you can't ask for better conditions. It's going to be a beautiful drive, and we'll see what we can see. In terms of yesterday, I'm very happy for those of you that missed yesterday. We had an incredible experience, something that for me personally, after many years in the bush, is still something that it happens, you know, sometimes once in a lifetime. So it was amazing to share that live, and I'm talking about the buffalo hunt yesterday. Those 5 male lions, beautiful cats. I got to know them the first time yesterday, and I'm intrigued by them, to say the least. And the hunt happened around us after 2 hours of not much activity. So that's the thing, you never know what's going to happen in the bush. It might take a while, it might happen instantly. And what I'm very excited about is the fact that you're going to get to see a catch-up on that. So in the next few minutes, you'll get about a few minutes to catch up on yesterday's drive in case you missed it. And then you're going to continue under us, and we're going to see what we're going to get. So enjoy that view and get back in the vehicle with us. See you just now. We're going to start just here. It's wildebeest, impala, giraffe, everything. Okay, great. For those of you that are riding along on the net and that can enjoy what's going on here, as I said, we can just stick around here while the other guys enjoy that highlight or the summary of yesterday's, I have to say this again, incredible event. But what a beautiful setting. As I mentioned just now, it really does look like a postcard. The clouds, the sky, the trees, the wildebeest. If you didn't know better, you'd think we're in Africa. It's one of those perfect afternoons. It's not even too hot. The temperature is also pleasant. It's one of those afternoons where you could almost just sit here for the rest of the afternoon. Just feel life unfold around you. Watch the clouds drift by slowly, watch the wildebeest play and the birds fly, and maybe forget about yourself for a while. I think that's something we should do more. Just immerse yourself in what's going on around you. Okay, it should be a bit better. Oh, what a nice afternoon. Birds are calling. Okay, so just Well, we haven't actually moved far, and I'm sure for those of you that missed yesterday, it was an amazing experience. I look forward to seeing what you just seen as well. We'll talk about it a little bit. We are going to head over to those lions in the course of the next half an hour or so. We're going to just start here. I was saying just now that this is such an awesome view, and Brian will show you around a little bit. It is one of those perfect, and I'm going to use it again, postcard afternoons. You've got these beautiful clouds, they're drifting past at a slow speed. The wildlife is relaxed. Wildebeest, impala, giraffe, all just sort of going about their business. The birds are singing, and you can literally not ask for a more beautiful day to be out in the bush. Luckily, that's exactly what we're doing. We're out in the bush, and this afternoon I'm just going to show you beautiful things, beautiful views, because it's one of those afternoons. The light is brilliant. We've had overcast days for a few days. We had massive rain last night. That was a whole adventure in itself. This beautiful big male giraffe, again with the clouds in the background. It's just a lovely setting. We had to drive back to camp last night in these open vehicles in a storm, and it was quite a lot of fun in itself. And it's like the air has been washed clean and everything smells fresh. The greenery is coming back. There's two things that really make the bush come alive. The one is rain, and the one is sunshine. And we had the one last night, and we're sitting in the next one today. So it's like everything has just sort of been pulled into sharp contrast. It's this, all the colors are brighter, all the lines are sharper. You get this quality of light sometimes like we have at the moment, and I've worked a lot in the photographic industry as well, in the fashion industry and so forth, and I've taken fashion advertising photographers into natural areas to go take those kind of photographs, but in wild areas like this. And one of the things they often comment on is the light. Photography means literally to paint with light. I've always loved that term. Many people don't realize that, but photography is to paint with light. And in terms of brushes and ink for this afternoon, we've got it perfectly. This giraffe is actually taking us on the tour himself. I can just be quiet. He's walked the whole half moon around us. So let's just watch him, but watch around him as well. Don't just look at the giraffe, just look at the scene. Look at those beautiful trees and the impalas in the background and the blue sky and the whole picture, because we're in this whole space at the moment. Including the little giraffe. I like this little guy. Look, he fits under the adult almost. So for now, I'm not in a massive hurry to go too far, because why go looking for things if they're right here around us? Let's go look at those impalas a bit. What's the time now? Just after 4 o'clock African time, well, Central African time. And it's getting a little bit cooler. There's sort of the back of the afternoon is broken. We're now going into the later afternoon. And these impalas, even though they're quite sort of tranquil at the moment, if we're lucky, these youngsters might get into a bit of a playful mood. Look at this one suckling from mum. You see this there's a one or two running up. And let's just sit with them a bit. One of my ultimate favorite things to watch is these young impala lambs when they're having fun, when they're being young, energetic, lively animals. And you'll see them running around and strutting their stuff, literally. The term strutting refers to these sort of running behaviors and patterns they do. And just being, sometimes I wish English was my first language, because there's words that I know but I don't know them. They are sitting at the back of my mind, but they can be so alive. That's simple enough. So we're going to stick with these impalas a bit, see if they start running around, and from small impalas to big animals. I know HD is looking forward to saying hello to you, and he's got something up his sleeve. Enjoy.
Good afternoon everyone, and welcome to WildSafari Live. It's fantastic to be back with you again. What an afternoon it was yesterday, and I'm sure Pete's giving you a bit of an update on that. He could hardly contain himself today. He was just over the moon, and we both were at what we captured last night to bring to you live. Well, it's about 30 degrees C in the mid 80s Fahrenheit, and it's a really hot one, but a lot of the animals are still active. We've got we're just sitting in the middle of a herd of elephant at the moment. It's a breeding herd, so it consists of a matriarch and related females and their offspring. There might be a bull trailing if there was a female in estrus. Sometimes the bulls will just separate themselves off a little bit, but keep an eye on the herd just in case they're around. Well, they're around at the right time. Hopefully they're around at the right time, and they will be, to check if that female is in season. So they're sitting in the shade at the moment, and they're feeding just in this wooded area because the temperature is quite hot. And you can have a look, there's one just over here on the right. He's a little way off there, and we will just try and get them to walk onto us. But they're standing in the shades of trees at the moment, so we don't really want to go up too close and disturb them. You can see him flapping his ears regularly there to cool himself. That's like basically a radiator on a car, in a sense, that he's got a very complex network of veins really close to the underside of the skin on the backs of his ears, and in that shaded area that you can see, that cool air flowing over the top of them will cool him down. So you'll see most of them doing that, and there's another little guy over here, and there's another female up here. We might drive up a little bit closer and just see which herd this is. Had some really nice encounters with elephants over the last few weeks here, or the last month, but particularly with one herd. She's got a broken tusk, the matriarch, and she was really not the closest of friends with me at the beginning, as we just drove up once to see her, in the sense that we didn't drive up too close. All we did was we drove up, and she gave us a very conscious display to say that's enough, and we just approached from nowhere near as close as we are now, and she still wasn't happy. So what we did was just backed away, and over time it was slowly just come closer and closer to them, and she's now really respecting us, and we're really respecting her, of course, and she moves very close to our vehicle, up to about 2 meters away. So it's a really great bond or understanding that you can have with an elephant herd, as long as you read the signs and you listen to what they are telling you, then you can have a really good experience with them. So this guy here is just feeding on some grass. He's digging up some earth and pulling out, having a little bit of a feed on anything he chooses at the moment. He's a young bull. He's just giving us a little bit of a head shake to tell us he's just a teenager, probably just on teenager. I don't even think that, probably about 7 or something like that, and even 6 maybe, and just giving us a little indication that he's he's present, and we are as well. We've got a lot of females. There's another female around to the back of us. I'm just trying to gather as much information as I can to see if I can recognize one of the females. One of the matriarch in the herd that I'm looking for, she's got a broken tusk, a broken left tusk, and it's okay, my boy. It's okay, my boy. And she's got a tear in, a broken right tusk, I think it is, and a tear in her left ear, which is quite noticeable. So we'll just see if they turn up to us. It's okay, my boy. But they're beautiful. A really hot day, and just staying in a little bit of the shade of this open woodland here, moving around just behind us. So I'll just move up a little bit here so you can see this female here. we've got a lovely individual there, but I can see down here a few elephants having fun. So let's just come this way, VM, with me. There's a few elephants having some lovely fun down here. Look at these guys. It's okay, my boys. It's okay, guys. It's all right. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. There's a lovely little mud hole there I think they're playing in. And oh my goodness, there's a baby up ahead that's so young. So I'm just in between, I'm very close to Voyatella. Look at that baby up ahead, that's a youngster. I'm very close to Voyatella Dam, and I'll just look on my little techie map here that I've got, because this is a little back road, and I'm just going to we've got a boy right behind us at the moment here, and I'll just, it's okay my boy, I'm just gonna, it's okay my boy, we're just here to be, everything's fine. So we're just near a place called Chilapan, and it's a little sort of road that connects us from Pangolin Track to Quarantine, and it's a really lovely little track that we don't come down very often, but I like it a lot because it's a less trodden path, and we come across these little unknowns now and again. Now I'm going to gently move up, There's a female behind this vegetation just here, and she's got a very, very young calf. So we've got to go a little bit easy, of course we always do, but a mother with a calf that age will be slightly more protective and a little less chilled out than others, but she might be completely fine. So you can have a look at this little baby here, just walking through there. There's a little one. That little baby is fitting underneath his mum at the moment. Let me just get up a bit closer. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, folks. We're going to sit with them for a little bit longer, and then I'm going to drive around on a road and see if we can get them to walk onto us, which is a really nice situation to be in, because then they dictate the moves. I just want to get you to see this little baby here. So beautiful. Just hidden by the vegetation, but you might get a glimpse of him just through there if he walks out. Can you see him, VM, there? I'm not sure if you can see him very well. There's a really nice herd of elephant here, folks, so I think what we'll do is we're just going to take a little drive around the block, and just a couple of them just giving us a little sign. I'm not sure what herd this is, so I've got to get a look at one of the individuals. That youngster in there, in that sort of shrub area there, is very, very young, and I'm going to try and get a little closer look for us. So let's stick with it. If you're okay with that, I think we should just drive around the block. I'm going to just turn around. We might get a little look at the youngster just now. Well, it's a block of sorts anyway. It's just down the track. We're going to have to go through the herd again, so we'll just go really gently. But have a look, you can get a little shot at that now, VM. I'll just get you back into position, mate. Look at that little guy there. Oh, it's a bit tricky, but you can just see a youngster there. He's just gone under his mum for a drink. You get a little look through that bit of... It's really tight, really tight. You can see how tiny he is there. Really tiny little youngster. So I'd really like these guys to walk onto us, but they don't look like they're moving too fast. So we'll stick with them for a second, wait for them to move further forward, and then they're going to cross a road, which is a very easy road for us to get access to. So there's sort of normally about 9 to 11 elephants in the herd, or you know, adults, and then their offspring. So sitting with this breeding herd of elephants, you know, there can be a lot more individuals than 9 to 11, what I just said. You know, you can have up to 15, 20, but they might split then, or they might be two sort of distantly related clans that have come together. It just depends on many, many things, food distribution and loads of other contributing factors. But you can get massive group herds together, which will be separate mini sort of herds within that of related. That's funny. That's really funny. Pete's got the same elephant as us. I was just going to cross live to Pete, and because he's got the same elephant herd as us, which is kind of amusing. So I think we should just drive up behind and say hi for a second. This is really funny. I just got a link across from control to say, let's go and see what Pete's Ellies look like. So I do it across to you. Just watching my aerial there doesn't touch this tree. Hello, mate. I just got this link from control, Pete, to say, can you cross to Pete? He's got some Ellie. We're on looking at the same herd.
It might be the same, but I don't see you here. But it's the same area. Let's turn around quickly.
Sure, mate. We'll just go back up here a bit, reverse up so we can both reverse up and have a look at these guys. He's actually moving on a little bit, so we'll let him go. But I'll just reverse up so we've got the same herd we're looking at. Quite fun actually to both be here. Brilliant. We don't often cross paths. Just watch my aerial, please, mate. You going to go around? All right, mate. Pete's just going to go inside there, and we could just sit here and watch from this side. We might just pull on up. We'll just plonk ourselves. Don't want to startle this guy too much because I don't want him to think that we've got vehicles both sides of him. It's okay, my boy. It's okay, my boy. They're very relaxed. Let's just sit here. Well, that's quite a nice little shot there. Pete and Brian just in the background there. Very relaxed elephant. Completely fine. Got a young boy off to the right, I think, and that youngster, they'll relax. It's absolutely fine. Oh, the sun is beating down here, folks. You can definitely feel that 30, I think it feels hotter than 30 degrees myself. So mid-80s Fahrenheit, somewhere around there, and it's when you've got no wind whatsoever, you can see the elephants. Okay, let's cut over to Pete and see what his view looks like.
Oh guys, brilliant. Awesome to have a view from this side, and this little youngster is actually being curious about us. Mum's close behind, so he's not concerned, and there's a great calm feeling about these two. So fantastic to join the same herd. I know you've been looking at these Ellies for a while, and they just moved through, and we came around and joined with HD. You can see him in the background there just now. He's just behind the elephant. Now, to come back to different animal species, I mean, there's all these animals you see in Africa. The big five, obviously, always interesting. But me personally, it's difficult to say. You know, leopards are just in a whole different experience almost. Wow, she's talking. That's one of the sounds they make. We can hear about a third of the sounds they make. 2/3 is too low frequency for our ears to hear, but that was a beautiful vocalization, and right next to us you could almost feel it rather than just hear it. And she's talking to the other elephants. She's not the matriarch, she's one of the senior females. I can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like about 8 or 9 Ellies that I can see, maybe more. 10, there I can see another one. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. So yeah, as I said, very different from leopard, with leopard being sort of these enigmatic, but different animals that something we can never really comprehend, I think, in a way. With Ellies, for me personally, I've just always had such a soft spot for them. Intelligent animals, you can really get to understand them to an extent. So, very happy to be here. We've come around and joined the same herd of elephants that HT is with. In fact, he's just behind there. He's sitting in the in the middle of the herd at the moment. Other vehicle just at the back there. There you can see them having a look as well. And I was just talking about elephants. Now, for me, elephants, on a very personal level, I would probably have to say is my favorite animals. I mean, I love seeing leopard, I love seeing lions, all the big animals. Leopard are just, these mysterious, enigmatic animals for me. But elephants, firstly, are highly intelligent. Oh, they're right around us. Look at us. Sorry, Brian, difficult to decide where to look, but we've got 2 elephants right next to us. They're coming around us. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 elephants around us. We're sitting in the middle of the group at the moment. That's awesome. This youngster is very curious. He came to have a look at us just now. Sorry, I'm interrupting myself there, but I wanted to say, and I'm going to keep it short now, is that I absolutely love elephant. I've spent a large part of my guiding career in my life spending time with Ellies. In Pilanesberg, I was very fortunate to have worked with some of the guys that researched elephants, that studied them. I met people like Joyce Poole, Andre Klokker, Randall Moore, people that really speak elephant almost. And it's beautiful to see what they're about. Now look at this youngster there at the back. That's sort of a teenager, the one that's moving through. And I'm hoping is one that might come and have a look at us. Because this age, they're often quite curious. Same as the young ones. The small one here next to us, his backside you can see now. He's already come and had a look or two at us, a little head shake just now. But over the years, I've been fortunate enough to, always sounds strange to say that, to have built up an understanding of elephant where you can firstly be not intimidated by them. Very easy to be intimidated by elephants because they're so big, but once you understand them a bit, keep in mind they speak a very different language to us, then it can be awesome. And I believe you've got a question. Great. Hello, Heather. Heather's asking, how old is this little Ellie, the youngster? I'm just going to turn a little bit. Turn us slightly. How you position a vehicle in and amongst the elephant when you're spending time with them is very important. Heather, I'm going to get to the age just now. But what you do with the vehicle in an elephant sighting is much more crucial than in a sighting with, for instance, lion or leopard. Because elephants interact to a large extent to the vehicle. It's a similar size to them. The sound from the engine, the movement, where you place yourself relative to them, that all plays a role. In an elephant sighting, to really have a good time with them, ideally you want to know them, or otherwise spend time with them at least 20 minutes, half an hour even, so that they can get used to you as well, so that they can say, hey, these guys aren't bothering me. Look at this, the mother is not concerned, her calf is behind her. Either this calf is probably about a year old, maybe a bit less. And look at this, the mum's moving off, there's no concern. She's accepted that we're not bothering anything, and this youngster could even come have a look at us. Look at that. Mum doesn't worry. His courage failed him a bit there in the end, I think. You all know that feeling. It's always better when you're close to the big ones. with Ellies, it really is all about immersing yourself in what they're doing. These guys are in a great relaxed mood. There's no tensions here. You can feel them moving slowly. And if we move at the same pace to them, you know, spend time with them without trying to force ourselves or push into them, then you'll soon find, like we had just now, that they start coming up to have a look at you. I mean, we had a few of them all the way around us just now. I'm hoping we have a few more interactions if you want, because you can really get that with Ellies, where they come and look at you as well, not just us at them. Although, to be fair, last night at one lion, Brian, he came to have a look at us. Brian had a lion. The whole head of the lion was probably, Brian, half a meter, if that. 1.5 feet from him last night at one stage. It was awesome. Okay, sorry, let me just turn again. And what I said just now about moving around elephants, it really is crucial what you do and how you do with your vehicle, because this is to a large extent what they interact with. So where you place yourself, how you move, what noise you make. One of the first mistakes people tend to make when they drive around themselves is keep the engines running, you know, because they're worried that this elephant might come and attack me or something, and they want to be able to drive away. Now, from the elephant's point of view, if you're driving in there, you stop there close to it, he doesn't mind necessarily that you approach them, but if your engine keeps running, it's sort of like stopping there and going, you know, like, you know, what's sort of just, and the elephant might go like, what's your story, you know, why are you sitting here making noise, why don't you just, you know, take it easy. So when you get close to them, it is nice to find your spot, move a little bit, that's not a problem, but to switch off. Okay, awesome. Well, that's the beauty of being in this herd. Hayden's got some nice activities. Well, this one is just asking us what our story is. I'm going to switch off, enjoy the view from Hayden's side, and we'll see what we can get on this side.
Coming to me, mate. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. For Pete and I to be right here amongst this herd. Look at this young fella in front of us here, but the most important one that I want to talk about right now is that little guy there. Look at him. He's the littlest one, and he's beautiful. He's just been here rubbing, having a scratch on that log, but he's about 2 meters, this young boy in front of us, completely relaxed. Completely relaxed. We've got an adult female behind us and another youngster. And these guys are just letting us be with them. That's what's beautiful. They're not concerned whatsoever. We just place ourselves in the middle, and once you've read the behavior, you can see that you allow them to walk onto us, and they're completely fine. They can dictate the space, they can dictate how close they want to come, and it's just a beautiful experience, really. And it's really cool to be doing it, Pete and I together, and just swapping from side to side, getting different perspectives. And I think we should stay with these guys for a little bit. It's really quite beautiful. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 all around here. We'll just move up a little bit closer. I want you to get another shot of that little baby. That little baby is beautiful. It's okay, my friends. Everything's just fine. You're so fine. It's okay, my boy. We're just here to have a look at you guys. Just watch that branch there. I think there's no spikes on him. It's okay, fella. It's okay. It's all right. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. So fine. That little guy is very cool. So he's still be obviously drinking mother's milk, but just having a little graze as well. He's probably about, I think there was a younger one that we saw before, but this little guy's probably about 3, 4, 5 months old maybe. Even a little bit more maybe. But still very small, still fitting under his mum. We saw him suckling before, which was quite beautiful. There's his mum on the left here. Just here, you can see her walking through shot right now. so nice just to sit with these guys. So what we're doing is we're just moving up slowly with them. They're completely fine, completely relaxed, and there's nothing more beautiful than being in the presence of a relaxed elephant that are just, they're tolerating our presence, and we're not threatening, we're not impeding their direction or changing their direction in any way, shape or form. And when you get comfortable with that, oh my goodness, you can have a beautiful encounter with these guys. Last week I had an elephant in the herd that I thought this was. This is a different herd, but he was in the herd, the matriarch with the broken tusk and the tear out of her left ear. She, one of her offspring or related offspring came up and touched the front of our vehicle with his trunk and had a big sniff of the vehicle. So he dictated that, he did it, there was no threat, he was just very inquisitive, quite a beautiful thing. Just going to go up a little bit closer and follow these guys. Pete's just up there as well, you can see, which is fantastic. Both enjoying this beautiful encounter. We don't get to do this very often because we're normally off on other sides of the reserves. And you know, being in Big Cat Week is a really important thing, but it's all about other wildlife as well. And this is one of those beautiful encounters. Pretty sure she's the matriarch, that one there, with that youngest elephant. Normally the wisest, oldest, biggest female. Not always, but normally. And she dictates everything. Very peaceful, very peaceful. I think I might be able to get around there, folks, and just have a little bit of a catch up. If I can see a little track through there, was no tracks, but what we're doing is just making our way through the vegetation here. Gently. Sounds a lot worse than it is, folks, I have to tell you. It's just, sometimes it's okay, my boy. It's okay, everything's fine. We're just coming to say hi and interested in you guys and how wonderful you are. Everything's just so easy and relaxed. Okay, my girl, it's okay. Just gonna sit here, it's alright, everything's fine. All good. So incredible times here on Djuma and Arathusa, these beautiful reserves in the Sabi Sands here in South Africa. And it's Big Cat Week, as we said. We've said it every night, but we're going to say it again because that was a bit of an elephant vocalization behind me there. Because, you know, it's definitely a focus on cats. It's definitely a focus on the predators, but there's so much more to being out on safari. It's beautiful encounters like this, and you know, Big Cat Week is going to take us right through, and every time we go out, we're going to be keeping our eyes and ears open for those cats. But you know what? You cannot drive past something like this, that's for sure. There's so much interesting wildlife and flora around the place that we just have to stop always and take it all in. And an encounter like this with a breeding herd is something very, very special, particularly when they've got youngsters as young as this one in our vision right now. You just cannot drive off, really. It's so nice just to watch their behaviour and them feeding and casually just ambling along at their own pace and us following them. But yeah, these two reserves, I have to say, Juma and Arathusa, I tell you, I haven't had quite an experience in the last sort of 10-15 years as I've had here in the last month. Absolutely extraordinary place. If it's not wild dog, it's leopard. If it's not leopard, it's elephant. If it's not elephant, it's lion, and the list goes on. We have had the most incredible encounters, and we've got
So what I'm going to do is just show you the waterhole, Gowrie waterhole that we talked about earlier. Just going to get out of low range. There we go. Just look around a little bit, just give you an idea of the area we're going to be spending time in. Because if possible, I want to stick with these elephants. I would love for you to see them drinking, and maybe there's a bit of play, and that little ones can sometimes get a bit sort of funky around the waterhole and start playing around. So let me give you an idea of what we have around us. The birds flying off, a starling, a dove. I saw 2 guinea fowl. Here we go. Let's see if they stick around close enough to see them. Normally you would see guinea fowl in flocks, in groups. But for the next 2 months or so, you'll often see them in 2s. And I wonder if you guys can guess why. Male and female look virtually the same. It's not an easy difference, so this is almost certainly a male and female. And the reason why we're going to see them in 2s quite often is because we're now in summer and they will be nesting. And they go off to do that as a pair. And they go off. As it Seb, I'm sure many people share your sentiments, and we'll leave it at that. But Seb is 14, sort of the size of that elephant earlier. He was about 12, 13. So Seb, there's lots of elephants going through similar things in your life, or in their life, as what you're doing in your life, just maybe in a very different environment. But Seb is asking, how old and how heavy can elephants get? Now, Seb, I'm going to give you a bit of an answer, and then I'm going to ask you or someone else, whoever's feeling up to it, maybe one of our old friends, Karen or Claire, or one of you guys that know this drive very well. I remember way back when we spoke about this. Oh, guys, I just have to show you this quickly. This relates to heaviness, Seb. There's some beautiful hippo tracks here. Because it rained last night and it's muddy, you can see the tracks, you know, almost like a cast in the mud. There's a perfect one. Let's look at this one. Is a good one. And hippos have got 4 toes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's walking that way, the same way we're going. And the heel is at the back here. So there's the heel. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 toes. Of your ungulates, your hooved animals, you get your even-toed and uneven-toed. Hippos fall in the even toe, but there's very few animals with 4 toes. Actually, most animals have got 2 toes in their ungulates. Or the uneven toed, like zebra and like rhinos. All right, lovely tracks. Hippo walked there, Land Rover went there. You can see the tracks as well. And warthog, and soon elephants. When we come back to find them, I'm hoping they come out. I mean, they should be doing what I was predicting that I think they will, because they were heading this way. Okay, that was a long intro because I'm going to ask you guys a question just now as well. But Seb, how big and how heavy do they get? Now, big elephant bull, firstly, bulls get much bigger than cows. They just get much, much larger. When you see, you know, especially mating bulls, you know, guys in their prime, even compared to a really big female, they're much larger. A big female would be 3.5, 4 tons. That's 4,000 kilograms. In pounds, that's about 8,500, 9,000 pounds. 800, you know, 4 tons would be 8,800 pounds. But make it, you know, 8 to 9,000 pounds, 4,000 kilograms. A big male would be, could be as much as double that. But a big male typically 6.5 tons. 7 tons maybe for a really big guy. That would be 15,500 pounds. Now the question I want to ask you is, I remember way back when we had this discussion on a drive, and you guys actually helped me, because you see, you've got the benefit of having at your fingertips almost infinite knowledge, because you can just go look for it. And I asked the question, what was the heaviest elephant ever recorded? In other words, that we know for a fact. And if I remember correctly, and guys, this is 8 years ago that we spoke about this, so excuse me if my memory goes. You can see the grey is coming through. I'm not as grey as HT yet, but it's getting there. I'm just joking about that. But if I remember correctly, there was an elephant bull that was hunted in Angola, which is just north of Namibia. So we said just now, we're in South Africa. The next country to the west would be the old Southwest Africa, now called Namibia. And the country north of that is Angola. And if I remember correctly, it was a bull that was hunted there, and I think it was in 1976, because I remember it was in the same year or close to when I was born. And I think he weighed 10.5 tons. So that's 10,500 kilograms, that's 24,000 odd pounds. If someone can check that for me, please let control know, either at questions@wildearth.tv or in a tweet at #SafariLive. I would love to just reaffirm that fact, because I remember it was fascinating. And yeah, Seth, I hope that answered you and gave you something to think about. I'm just going to turn around, so we're facing that way, and then we'll look at the waterhole, and then we'll talk a little bit about where hopefully there'll be elephants drinking not long from now. Hello, Mr. Franklin, calling there in the distance. Here's the Franklin that was calling, if he sticks around. No, he's going to run. Never mind, he's running away. Oh, actually, he might come and drink. Let's do this. We've got a bit of time. If not, why not? We're on safari, there's no rush. As they say, the Western world has got the watch, but we in Africa, we have the time. So let's look at this Franklin. Beautiful view, actually, of him. This is a Natal Franklin. I like the Afrikaans name. In Afrikaans we call them a bos, or a bosvisant, which visant would be Franklin, and bos is bush, so a bush Franklin. And it is one of your most, or probably not one of, I think it's probably the most widely spread Franklin in the sort of sub-Saharan Africa. So you do get them all over southern Africa, and they are the classic alarm clocks of the bush. Turn right here. Funny angles here, driving along. Ah, what a perfectly beautiful day. This would be as close as to a perfect day you can get in the bush. Perfect temperature, perfect views. Amazing light. A lot of elephants not far from here. Closer to sunset, we are going to go back to those lions and hopefully catch them at a bit more of an active time. But just look at that view. Wow. You probably hear that in the distance. A bit of elephant trumpeting and noise there. It sounds like maybe a few things, that maybe an adult reprimanding a youngster. That's quite a sound though. Let's go look. Let's go see. But this is Boitella Lodge right in the background there, nestled in the trees, overlooking the waterhole. Lovely space. And as I said, if all goes according to plan, it might not. You never know what wild animals do. They might change their mind and go somewhere else, but I think they might come and drink, and it'll be nice to watch that. More hippo tracks. Brian, I think we're going to have to play with a few sunsets towards sunset.
Yeah.
It's going to be the good ones. All sunsets are good ones, but the really good ones are really good. Alright, for those of you that missed the last few minutes, we were at the waterhole, just enjoying the view there, but then decided to rather head back here. I heard the elephants trumpeting quite loudly. I don't think it was something, it wasn't like some other animals coming to disturb them. It sounded to me more like something internal, maybe one reprimanding a youngster, one of the adults saying, hey, don't do that. But it also sounded to me like they might have turned slightly. It's difficult to exact direction because there's a drainage line down here. A drainage line is what we call like a riverbed, if you want. They might have gone into that. With all this rain, there could be enough water in there for them. Although my hopes are still that they will come and drink at Gari Waterhole in front of Waitea Lodge. But you can never guarantee in the wild. That's something we certainly know. We're going to find the Ellies again, see what they're up to. If they are in a nice place doing cool things, we'll watch them. Or if they're heading to the water, we're going to stick with them. We are still going back to those lions. Either HT or myself or both of us, depending on how the afternoon develops. That's the other thing you must always realize in safari is it's a very fluid, flowing experience. You don't say, well, today we're going to do this, this and this, and then you do that. You can plan and say, this is what I'd like to do today, this, this and this, and then see how it goes. But ultimately things can change in a blink of a second, or one radio call, one of the guides finds something and suddenly there's a whole different scenario to consider. So, but the plan is, we will go back to those lions because we have lions here and it is big cat week, so that's what we want to do. But we're going to try and catch them a bit later on when they're busy, maybe moving around or eating or being a bit more active. Who knows, maybe hunting another buffalo. Maybe they make it 4 in a row. It's been amazing what happened in the last 3 days with those lions. Maybe just as amazing as a big herd of pachyderms as we always call them. Elephants disappearing. It's not impossible. It's happened before. But I think they should still be in this block. But we will see from the tracks. And then we're going to keep our eye very carefully on that sunset that's developing. Brian is doing just that. So that's already a lovely view just with the tree there. We're going to get, I think, a spectacular sunset. So we will keep giving you different views of it. Sun just winking at us through the bush there. That's the great thing about a game drive. It's everything. It's not just the leopard or not just the lion or not just the elephant. It's everything about the experience of being out in this beautiful, untouched part of the nature, and untouched part of Africa. The wilderness, one of my favorite words in the world, the word wilderness. We should all have a bit of wilderness in our hearts. Come on, Brian, you like these dead trees, I know you do. It's not the best one, but any dead leadwood. Guys, what's amazing, these trees, this one we're looking at here, looking at this, it's probably been dead for a few hundred years already. Leadwood, as the name suggests, is incredibly hard. I'm just going to switch off the engine. I just want to listen if we can't hear these Ellies again. In fact, this wood is so hard that if you cut a piece of that and throw it in water, it sinks. It's about 28% denser than water, at roughly 1,280 kilograms. Well, that's not really roughly, but that's what I remember. Hear them? Well, Brian can hear the Ellies. Doing vocalization or branches?
Vocalization.
Vocalization.
So they might be just in here.
Yeah. Well, let's go poke. And this is where we left them, was about in here. But these trees, they can stand for estimated up to 1,000 years after they're dead. And to get to this size would have been 400, 500, 600 years at least. So we're looking at a tree that's been around for more than 1,000 years easily as it's standing there. 1,000 years, can you imagine that? What were we doing 1,000 years ago as a species? I don't know. Trying to figure out our differences with swords and sticks. tracks of them crossing. We've gone past where they were earlier, so maybe they've crossed, but I would have expected to have seen tracks. So I've got a feeling they're just in that thick stuff again. You just turn around, we'll give it one more check. I was saying a bit earlier, and it's one of my favorite sort of tongue-in-cheek sayings, and it is really a saying. It's something that's said often in East Africa, but in Southern Africa as well, and that is that, you know, that the West has the watch, but in Africa we have the time. And that's something to be, you know, smiled about, because I think it's quite catchy. But at the same time, it's something to really consider. We tend to so often get caught up, and we must do this now. We must find these elephants because where have they gone? And who knows what else we might find in looking for them. And we will find them. There's no rush, you know, it's to just immerse yourself in the surroundings and the sunset and the waterhole, and some questions, maybe something to talk about, if anyone has something to ask. Awesome, thank you, Cornel. Getting feedback about our discussion about elephants earlier after Seth's question. Cornel has gotten back to us saying the heaviest elephant was 12 tons. Cornel, if there's a bit more info where it was, or, you know, just something to substantiate, that would be great. 12 tons. 12 tons, that's about 7 of these vehicles that we're driving, almost 8 with all the stuff that we've cut off it. And that is, let's think, 10, 100, that's 150 times what I weigh, if I'm doing the math correctly. That's insane. 12 tons, that's 26,400, about 26, almost 27,000 pounds. Huge things. And yet, even though there's about a dozen of them here, we can't find them at the moment. Let's take another little drive along. We'll come back here a bit. In a bit. Find them when they've popped out. Hey! Elephant! Sorry, say again, Will? Yes. 26,400 pounds. That's a 12-ton elephant. For those of you guys that work in pounds, you should try the metric system. The metric system was derived from a very basic system. It was derived from what we call our fingers and our toes, especially our fingers. 10 fingers. We'll joke about that again later. Elephant. And giraffe. Look down there. Way down there. I mean, this is to prove how easily things can just be disappearing from you. We've been driving around this about 3 or 4 times now, and there's the tallest animal in the world and the heaviest animal in the world right there, and we almost didn't see them. So from the giraffe, let's roll forward for you. To the elephant. Just have to check quickly with the game drive something. Roy again. Kujani mfo. Niko na munke. Tingala lalapan. Okay, and the other ones are queenie? Okay, come on, Snani. Guys, I was just chatting to one of the game drives there, a guy called Roy. He was just with those lions. It seems there's a bit of activity, but not too much yet. And I just want to keep our ears on the radio if there is activity there, if something starts happening, we're going to go over there. Otherwise, we'll do so around or closer to sunset. That language I was speaking is not a language I'm fluent in, but I do speak it fairly well from when I used to work here. Beautiful language called Tonga, which is spoken by the Tonga and the Shangaan people, a little bit similar to Zulu. And the guys use it in the radios a lot, so that guests don't necessarily understand exactly what they're saying, because it can easily be misinterpreted. You know, you might be talking about lions that you saw 2 days ago, and then the guest might think you're talking about lions there now, and then they don't understand why you didn't see them. So that's why that language is used. I'll give you a few words over time. It's a beautiful language. In fact, my son's name, the second half of his name, is in Shangaan, Ngala, which is the Shangaan word for, the Tonga word for lion. Well, these Ellies are still not doing too much. In fact, this one is doing quite a good job of hiding behind a bush about the same size as him. We're actually looking at the bush, which is taking front and center in front of the elephant. Let's go a little bit forward. And speaking of those lions, we just heard HT on the radio there talking to the guys. We'll probably go have a look there just now, just to get a bit of a feel of what they're up to. Let's take another minute or two with these Ellies, or with this Ellie. Well, a few yards back we could see a giraffe as well, and we were just making the point about how we've been looking for these elephants. I mean, we know where they are, we know it's thick, I mean, we've talked about it, but we were driving around within, you know, close proximity to the world's heaviest animal, the elephant, and the world's tallest animal, the giraffe, and how we almost didn't see them. But we've got this one here, it's one of the youngsters. Seems a little bit warm now, flapping the ears, good way to cool down. And I'm sure the rest of the herd are still just further into the thicket, further behind. And we'll keep an eye and an ear out for them. Unless something happens or something comes up that we don't know about at the moment, which of course is possible any second, that's the beauty of this. We are going to stick with these Ellies, hopefully till they go drink. And we're also just giving an update. I was talking about the language Tonga or Shangaan, which is what we use in the radios, which is the local language of the Tonga people or the Shangaan people. It's slightly, almost two small variations within the same tribe if you want, but not to get too caught up in that. In that language, which is a beautiful language, it really has a great sound. This would be a Ndlov or Ndlovu, which is the same as Zulu as well. And the word for lion is Ngala, or Ngonyam is a sort of a slang word for it. But those Ngalas, one of them is doing a little bit of activity, and I think HT is almost there now, so we might go and look at them if there's something happening. But first, I'm going to ask another question while I answer it. You're going to ask another question, I'm going to answer it, and maybe I'll ask you one back. Awesome. Hello Lisa, and hello Lisa's class. As always, I'm happy when I know there's a classroom on the drive. Lisa, and if any other teachers are watching, let's just enjoy this Ellie. I can't move now because I'm going to give him a fright. He's trying to tell us what's going on. Guys, all you're seeing in the back here is just part of the vehicle. We've got a few sticks and antennas and things at the back. So he's right behind us. In fact, if Brian was to stick out his hand, you can see it just there. But if I moved now, then it would just be disrespectful to the elephant. He's just built up the courage to come and ask us what we're about. If I start the engine now, I'm going to give him a fright. So, hey mister, this is a young bull. Sorry Lisa, before I ask your question, answer your question, sir. I've got ask and answer mixed up this afternoon. It's always great to know what age you guys are. Sorry guys, I forgot the question. Lisa, I'm so sorry. I was looking at this elephant and I just love it when they come up to us. Well, just remind me there again, please. My my answer and asking got mixed up. Ah, yes, great question. But for now, I just really want to talk about this Ellie. Lisa's asking and her class are asking, why do elephants form into herds if they're so big? Perfect example. Even this Ellie, which is still a youngster, he's about 12 years old or so. Even he's big enough now to not worry about predators. So that is a very, very interesting question. And there's many reasons for it, mainly because they're just such social and such intelligent animals. So there's many benefits in the group other than just pure safety. This one has now become comfortable with us. You see, if he was concerned about us, he would leave. He would go back towards the herd. And we're also on a nice gradient, so I don't have to switch my engine on. We can just roll along with him. So he might be a bit more interactive with us. Maybe a little head shake just now, maybe a little smell. You see just now, he should turn and then shake his head. All the time he's eating. So there's various reasons why animals form herds. And make no mistake, there's no animal that's greater at living together in large numbers than people. You guys are from Wisconsin, and I presume it's not a very big town that you're in, but you take any of the big cities of the world, you know, New York or LA or Mexico or Johannesburg or Frankfurt, London, name them. Well, firstly, all those cities have got more people living in them by quite a few factors than what lives in the whole country where I'm from. And maybe we've only got 2.5 million people living in the whole country. But so point is, living in groups has often got other benefits other than the most obvious ones that you would think of in nature. In other words, impalas or zebras, they live in groups, yes, because it is safer, you've got safety in numbers, but there's a great deal of other aspects that you can gain by being in groups. You can learn things. In other words, a herd of elephant with a matriarch, she can teach her daughter and her daughter's daughters or the other ones in the herd where to find good water, where to go when it's dry, where to find good food. A solitary animal wouldn't necessarily know that. It would have to learn that by itself. So there's the benefit of passing on knowledge over generations. There's the benefit of helping each other. Elephants, for instance, do this thing called allo-suckling, where one mother will give another calf milk if the other one's mother is maybe sick or not well or can't give milk. So they can help each other. They can help teach each other's youngsters where to find food and how to behave and how to, you know, work within the herd. There's a great many benefits of being in herds. At the same time, elephants, the females and youngsters live in herds. The big males, after age 16, 17, do start living semi-solitary lives, which means they hang around in bachelor groups with other elephants, but they don't live in permanent fixed herds like the females do. I like this guy. Hello. Now this is what I was hoping for earlier. These elephants, they've been used to us now for, I haven't been watching my watch, but well over an hour, probably an hour and a half that we've been sort of around them. You can see the giraffe in the back. Hey! But they've gotten used to us now. This guy has now learned that we're not here to bother him and we're not messing with him. Now he's becoming a bit curious. I'm going to roll a little bit forward. Come on, gravity. Move. There we go. I don't want to start the engine on because that'll be a bit noisy. That's about as far as we can go without the combustion power. Bit of a swaggery walk there. He's a little bit young to really play with, so we must just more follow with him and let him do what he wants to do with us. If they're slightly older, when they get to about 15, 16, one of the things I like to do sometimes, if you get them in the right mood, you really have to gauge it. You can play with him. In other words, what you do is they come to you and you go away a little bit and they think, oh, I'm convincing those guys to go away, I'm sort of being dominant, and then you stop and they stop and then you go towards them. But this guy is slightly on the young side. You're not going to do that with him just yet, unless he really starts playing with us. Can't quite make up his mind. He doesn't want to go away. He's sort of first curious about us and then he goes away and then he's like, hey, I'm not going to go too far, so that's why he came back on the road again. Ooh, come on, gravity. No. I think what we're going to do now, have a last look at him. Oh, we're going to have a nice sunset tonight, I think. We're going to just take a short drive around. He's, I believe, still up ahead of the rest of the herd. I haven't seen them yet. Brian, have you heard anything with your extra special hearing? See, Brian has got a bit of a benefit because he's listening to the sound with the earphones. You can hear what the microphone hears. And the microphone probably has about, I'm guessing about, not much, but probably 10% better hearing than the naked ear. Plus, I've only got 1.5 ears because of the comms in my ear. So I actually have to listen more on this side. Which is good. This side I can, this side I can listen to the game radios and to Will, and this side I can listen to you. Alright, well, as you see, we are moving off now. We're going to leave that Ellie for now. Let's just show you that he's not far away. We're not going to go far away ourselves. Hey, we can get the Ellie and the giraffe in the same view, if the giraffe would be so kind. Lift his head up. I just saw it in the back, but then the head disappeared. There we go. Sorry, Brian, there's a bit of a funny angle.
Yeah.
Elephant in the front, and the giraffe. There we go, just above the tree line. Thanks, Mr. Giraffe. That was almost on cue. So the wildlife is just here. We're not going to go away from them. We're just going to take a short drive down to the waterhole. It's always good this time of night. We are getting into sort of the approach of evening now, and a lot of animals go down to the waterholes around this time. So it's just a good thing to go check. There might be a leopard or something down there that we don't even know about. We can have a quick look and then slowly make our way back towards the elephants. Hopefully the bigger part of the herd are making their way out. In the meantime, you can go look at what the lions or lion is up to with HT. So enjoy that side, and we'll see you back here in a bit.
4, 2, 1. Well, here we are, and we've come back up to see our coalition of male lions here that we've been following for the last few days, who we had that incredible encounter with last night. Pete followed them while they were hunting. It was incredible to see and to look back on. I just thought I'd pop in and see these guys just to see how they were getting on. This beautiful male here, stretching and just walking up round. They did make a kill, so yeah, it's a little bit hard to watch at points, but you know, if you have to understand that it is the natural world, that's for sure, and they do eat buffalo as one of their prized items on the menu, and these buffalo in particular have been definitely this pride has been definitely making the most of the buffalo herds coming in and out of the area. We've had some extraordinary experiences with them over the last few days. I think VM and I first saw these guys right over the other side of the reserve. They've been all over the place, and they really have made a meal of these buffalo. So I think they've killed 3 in 2 days, and the one that we captured on live last night has completely been consumed. It was only a juvenile cow, and they probably consumed the most of it and then left it and came back to protect this more valuable prize, and that is that it's a bigger animal and it'll keep them going for a few days. So we've got these lions here potentially for another 2 days or 3 days. We don't know. They might last the whole week or even month. We just don't know. Pete's got a theory on them that he'll tell you more about later when he comes and visits, but in brief, Pete reckons that there's a sort of a theory of the males and why they're here. So I'll let him explain that to you later on. But very interesting to be around them and follow them and sort of just hang out with them, really. They allow us to be very, very close to them. They're very, very habituated, and it's been quite an incredible experience to be here. So we just be in their presence for the moment. So I think it's probably a good time to, seeing as Pete's been getting some questions from schools, which is really important and very, very close to both our hearts and the whole team's hearts. You know, any classes that are watching or any educators that are watching, I want to get their class watching some of this part of the natural world. Please send us some questions on email and I'll answer them for you the best that we possibly can. We're sitting here right now with 2 young male lions, and there's another 2 or 3 down there. I can see 2 down there, but they're hidden in the bush. We will drive past them as we drive out. We're going to stay for a short period of time here because Pete's going to come back up and have a look at these guys later on, which he really wants to do, to catch up with them and recap what he went through last night. It was absolutely fantastic. I just got a lovely photograph here too of one of them yawning. Have a little look on at that. We're just sitting here. I just have the camera nosed here, so some lovely behaviour going on here too. I'm sorry to cut to you there, but these 2 brothers just having a real nice little head rub there, a real social. He's trying to, and individual on the that was very nicely done. He befriended his brother and just said, can I move on in there and have a bit of an eat whilst you move out of the way for me. So these boys are definitely a force to be reckoned with. Have a look at the size of that belly. That belly is definitely buffalo full. And as we said, they could be, they're definitely, we think, related. So I'd like you just to have a little bit of a close-up now. It is a little bit, if you, you don't like that sort of thing, it might be time to look away, but you know, it is the natural world, and we need to show you exactly what they're doing. They've pulled, he's chowing into a bit of bone there, and really trying to get the most out of that bone and all the nutrition out of it. But all the green substance is the animal's rumen, which is the partially digested food that was in the animal's several chambered stomach. So, you know, it's not something that they eat, and it does get a bit messy for them. They normally drag the carcass around a little bit as well, and move that out of the way, because they don't prefer to lie in it if they don't have to. We were up here earlier this morning where one of them was pouring away, moving the rumen, that partially digested stomach content, out of the way, because he didn't want to lie in it. But he's just really going for that bone there. Looks like a big shoulder joint there that he's going for, and trying to get another little bit of a meal out of this. It's always a bit tricky, flies and the whole rest of it, but look at the power here. He's probably going to pull it around now. Maybe try and turn it over, I don't know, but he's trying desperately to get some tastier morsels, and the flies are a little bit of an issue. He does flick them away now and again, but they haven't even devoured the hindquarters yet, so there's still a lot to go. He's trying to pull that skin off and expose some of that tissue there to digest. So yeah, there's a lot of work in it. That buffalo skin's tough, and they normally go in at that location and then make the most of it, using his claws there to pull it back and pull that skin back. But it's a really, really tough job, and they've got to work at it. But the immense power of this animal, which will eventually be anywhere up to 200 plus kilograms, which is, you know, about over 400 pounds, you know, averaging around about 180, 185, that sort of range. But there's definitely been animals recorded at well over 200 kilograms, which is well over 400 pounds. So they're a force to be reckoned with, these guys, and he's really showing you his strength there. Incredible. So who knows what's going to happen to these boys? They may stay together, they may split. We just don't know. But they've got a little bit of growing to do, and then who knows if one of the other prides comes this way, which is potentially going to happen at some point. They may find the strength in the numbers to take on some much older adults, because there's 5 of these boys, and one of the members of this particular coalition is a little bit older than that, so he's potentially about another 6 months, 8 months, even more older than these guys. He seems to be the leader of the pack. Pete was referring to him as Blondie last night. He's definitely got a really blonde mane, and much bigger and much more courageous than the other 4. So you just don't know. It's very, very intricate what happens with these bands of big male strength. 5 animals in the whole coalition, and a coalition refers to a bond or a sort of structure of males working together as a team for strength, power and success. If you head over just beyond the carcass there, you'll see that adult, the individual that was lying here eating before this guy got in. And there's that fantastic position that they do. Lie on their back with one leg up in the air, sometimes 2 legs up in the air, and just so tuck it out. All they want to do is digest their food and sleep. But we've got this boy in the front here who's having a proper go at this. Really incredible to be in the presence of these guys and just watch them at work. The one in the back definitely at work. When we left this morning, there was 4 of them lying in that position next to each other. It was just fantastic to see. So when they can't get buffalo, which isn't always in the area, that's for sure, they'll prey on zebra, wildebeest, even impala, kudu. They really will have a crack at all those, and it just depends what's available for them. So we haven't heard these guys vocalize. We haven't heard them vocalize much at all, actually. There may have been a small vocalization this morning, but that was about it. And that vocalization is one of the most incredible things you can hear in Africa. At night, on a still night, they've recorded it at, look at this strength, they've recorded it at up to 8 kilometers away. And it really does, when you see the group roaring, it sort of is a social bonding as well. Absolutely incredible sound in Africa. We've got a question from a school, a preschool. Fantastic. This is very exciting. This is very exciting. We've got a question from Luke in Miss Donna's class in preschool in Nebraska. Hi Luke, and hi to everyone there. How fantastic is this to be able to talk to you right there, right now? And you've got a great question, really great question, Luke. What would happen if humans were to disturb the lions right now? Well, Luke, I tell you what, it wouldn't be a wise thing to do, that's for sure, because the lions are very, very protective over their food. Just like when you get given a beautiful meal on your plate, you wouldn't want one of your brothers there edging in and trying to steal a bit of that, would you? And I tell you what, if we were to get out, there'd definitely be a lot of trouble. They'd give us a big display of stay away, and it would probably end up in a very, very unhappy situation for me. So I would never dare do that. If one of the other animals comes up to him, he may push him away. He might just tell him to wait his turn. So it just depends what the relationship is or what the friendship is. But for humans, if humans or an adult human was to walk over there now, very, very bad move, that's for sure. He wouldn't like it at all. So in the future, it's a great one to know for you when you grow up and you potentially come to Africa on safari. You never get out of the vehicle when you're with lions, that's for sure. You make sure you stay a good distance and you respect them and you watch them from a really comfortable place, and then everyone will be happy. Great question, Luke. Thank you so much, Miss Donna's class. Really great to meet you, and stay on board with us. It's really good to have you around. Really trying his best there. So folks, what we might do is we might move on and let these boys be. He's probably going to sit there and eat a fair bit more now, and we might then go and just see what else we can find, because there's loads and loads of things out here we've got to see. These guys are going to be here for some time, and Pete's going to come back up here later and have a bit of a look as well. So it'd be really great for him to catch up with them. He'll tell you more about that theory of his as well. Really important. I really hear what he's saying there. And thanks guys. Very nice to see you. And I'll show you two of the other brothers that are doing a very good job at sleeping as well. Just reversing. A little bit tricky to get out of here. We've got some very, very spiky, thorny acacias and whatnot around us here. They have a tendency to want you to stay with them if you go too close, because they hook you, and it takes a little while to get out. So that was really nice to see. We'll leave them be. The Birmingham boys, that's what they're called. Some other people know them as the Males. Sounds like a football team. Well, I tell you what, they've got the punch of a rugby team, that's for sure. Just going to drive up here quite slowly, and I want you just to have a little look in here. This is only about 2 meters away from us, but there's two individuals just in here, I think. No, there's one gone, so one's moved on somewhere. There's one just through there, there's another one down the back there, and there was one just here, so he's moved on somewhere. You can just see them through there. If you were to walk through here on the road, you would probably walk straight past him, but I don't know if he'd let you do that somehow. Beautiful. Just resting. And we might just drive on and see what else we can find, because you never know what's around the next corner. I want you to see that blonde male there with Pete again tonight, so we'll keep our eyes on that for you. Really cool, really beautiful looking animal. Oh, speak of goodness me. Well, I guarantee you, folks, this thing here, this thing right here, this porcupine quill is getting a Facebook page. This porcupine quill has the luck of, I don't know what. There's no way in the world I could have predicted that. We came from the other direction. I can't believe that. All I said was, you never know what's around the next corner. And the blonde male, oh yeah, Pete's got to show you that. I hope Pete comes up and sees that guy. This is him. How incredible. There he is, sitting right in the middle of the road. So guess what? We're staying here for a bit until he decides to move, or I'm going to have to turn around. So either way, it's no big deal. But wow, isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? I just tell you, this is what is so magical about Safari Live. It's all about things like this. So fantastic. It's so brilliant to see this guy, and just talking about him. I hadn't seen him for about 12 hours basically since last night, and he was lying off in the bush somewhere. And you know what? I think he might just have his eyes out for something. He seems to be the instigator of hunts, and he's just sitting on this road here, keeping his eyes open and his ears open. I mean, he doesn't look like he's that alert at the moment, but he would only have to hear a sound like Pete did last night, and Pete picked up on that so beautifully. He didn't know. I remember hearing, you know, Pete going, I don't know what it is, I don't know whether it's hyena or something, and then Pete put all the pieces together. It was quite fantastic to watch. Pete's commentary last night was the thing that got me. His passion and his enthusiasm, and it was just magic. It really, really was to listen to. I thought he did an absolutely amazing job last night. But look at this. I think he needs a bit more of a manly name than Blondie. But anyway, we'll come up with something. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. The largest carnivore on the African mainland, on the African continent in front of us. Well, if you compare crocodiles, I suppose, then let's call it the largest cat in Africa, because crocodiles definitely are a lot bigger and weigh a lot more, but definitely the largest land carnivore in Africa, and these guys are so impressive. You can definitely see his mane much bigger. I can't believe this, guys. I really can't. This is just what I love about Africa, and particularly about Juma and Arathusa here in Sabi Sands. It's he looks like he's bedding down. We could be here for some time. I think we might have to turn around and go the other direction and let him be. But just when I say to camera, okay, well, we're going to leave these guys and then we'll carry on and see what else we can find, because you never know what's around the next corner. And I really hope Pete sees that really blonde male tonight to show you, because he's a really impressive animal. And what happens? Around the next corner is the blonde male with the big mane, well, the growing mane, bigger than the others, and here he is right in front of us. It's a bit tricky for me to get through this vegetation around him. I don't really want to disturb him too much. Let me just see, because all we're looking at is the back of him, but I really want to leave him exactly where he is, because it's his spot, and we are a guest on his turf. But wow, how incredible is that? Yeah, this place. Okay, what do we do? Do we go around, or do we go around the block? We've got a great question from Jamie Curtis's class in Everett. Welcome to all of you. Welcome to all of you. I just got to double check what the kids' names were. Control, was it Tatum and... Just wait till I get the second name. Okay. We've got Jordan and Tatum have asked a question. How fantastic, guys. Thank you very, very much for your question. And that's really, really wonderful. Look at those teeth, and that's what you're asking about. How many teeth does a lion have? Well, they've got 30 teeth and there's 4 canines, but have a look at the canines. The canines are these ones of us, guys. Each one just here. Okay, we've got canines as well, but he's got 4 massive ones, which is his weapons, his tools, exactly what he uses to hold on to his prey or his food. And he also uses his claws. He's got amazing claws to hold on as well. But oh, he stood up now. Look at this. Big stretch, big stretch. And he's going to come and walk past us. Okay, so we might just have to just let him be, feel comfortable. We might just, he might pass. Beautiful boy. Just letting him pass there, giving him space. How fantastic is he? He's gone right round our vehicle. Completely relaxed. Completely relaxed. That's great. Now if I sat here like this, over the side, it's a very, very prominent figure for him. So you can just lean back and settle down and make sure that you're not overpowering him, because that was a really big thing for him to do there. He's standing right behind us now. It's a big thing for him to pass this side. He could have gone that side, but he felt comfortable enough to do that. And you know, you don't want to overpowering him. So he did a really courageous thing there and was really comfortable with us as we were with him. That's a really lovely thing, that there's just so much comfort and trust there. Right, I think we're going to move on this time. I'm going to cross to Pete, because Pete's got something really fantastic for you to see, which you don't see very often. So we'll catch you just now.
Guys, welcome back, and I believe Hayden got parked in there a little bit by the lions there. So nice to see them. We've just found one of the big animals that you don't often see like this, because most of the time you see them in the water. We're not going to try and show more of him. He's moving away from us, but there he goes. What is that, Brian?
Hippopotamus.
A hippopotamus. I love the way Brian says that. A hippopotamus. A hippopotamus. Let's go have a look at him. He would be coming from Gari Warthal. We're just making our way back there to see if we can find his elephants again. I'm hoping that they might be going for a drink. I don't see them at the moment. They might have gone into the stick stuff. So we're going to stick around. Some of these herds, what they do is they go into this drainage line and they come out sort of behind the wall of the Warthal. But in the meantime, we've got a hippopotamus to look at. Now, hippos can be a little bit tricky out the water. They can be very tricky in the water as well, make no mistake. They're one of those animals that are strangely very unpredictable. Even with other wildlife, how hippos interact with lions, and I mean, there's been stories, I mean, photographs showed with hippos helping animals to get away from predators. There's been stories where they've not helped them get away from predators. So strange animals, but brilliant to see them out of the water. Massive animals, and we should get a good view up front here. Let's just get a place to stop and we'll watch this hippo come out into the open. Hippos, similar to rhinos, they don't have great eyesight. I mean, they can see well enough. But when it comes to distance, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 yards, not the best eyesight. So he was listening to us. He was looking our direction. That's why I stopped. I'll move again just now if he's more in the open. But he was trying to gauge whether we're going to be in his way or not. Which obviously we're not. We're going to stick parallel to him. Just give you a better view. There we go. Massive animal. I mean, he's a big bull. You know, in his prime, he's probably a good 1,400 kilograms, maybe even more. Let's call it to even 1,500. That would be a big male. That's 3,300 pounds. And make no mistake, they might look a little bit clumsy, but that fat is just to insulate them when they're in the water. They are very strong, very fast as well. Never ever to be taken lightly. And I dare say almost never ever to be trusted. They are one of those sort of oddball animals in the bush. But fantastic to see him out the water though. I don't think we're going to see much more of him. Let's just go forward one more time. He is now going into that very thick stuff. And as you can see, he doesn't like being followed too much. You can see he's going into that block that we spoke about earlier. That's actually almost exactly where we saw that elephant a bit earlier. And again, he's listening to us. We're a good 60 yards away. So I'm not going to follow him through the thick bush. He's just going to move away from us and we're going to bother him. So that was the hippo. Around to the waterhole again. See if there's anything around. Sunset is coming along, not quite as brilliant as I thought it might be in terms of the colours. I think probably we've got heavy cloud layer over the escarpment. The area we've been in this afternoon, we can't see all the way to the mountains. And if you've got heavy cloud layers over the mountains, you don't get the sunlight breaking through, because essentially what makes those beautiful sunsets is the sunlight reflecting off the bottom of the clouds, and we can see that light. So if the horizon is blocked by heavy cloud, you don't get any reflection off the clouds above us. What are you seeing, Brian?
There's something on the lens.
That we can sort out for you. Brian is just saying there's something on the lens. Oh yes, I see. Sorry guys, just going to clean that for you.
No, thank you.
There we go, that's better. No point on being in safari if you can't see everything. Tricky elephants this afternoon. Might still find them any minute, but I've got a feeling they went into this drainage line. Maybe they're only going to come out towards dark or just after dark to drink. Although we might go into that drainage line ourselves just now, if it's time allowed for it. We've got half an hour left of drive. A lot of things can happen in half an hour. A lot of things can happen in 2 minutes. And as I said seconds ago, a lot can happen in a few minutes. So we've got half an hour of drive left. We were just talking about those elephants that have disappeared a little bit. We might see them any minute. We're coming up to the waterhole now. I've got a feeling they're in the drainage line. Maybe they're a little bit shy. They want to wait until dark before they come and drink. Who knows what the story is. But we certainly learned that last night. That it only takes a few seconds for things to change altogether with what you thought you're going to see and then what you actually see. And of course is one of the great joys of life in general. The surprises you have along the way, but certainly the surprises you have out on safari in the bush. Don't see anything, which doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't anything. Some things are not that easy to see. Beautiful call from the woodland kingfisher. Always a lovely view. got poke our noses into this drainage line that I mentioned. Also a beautiful drive. We've got a little bit of daylight left, enough to let you enjoy the sort of the habitat aspect of where we're going now. So basically this waterhole that we have behind us just drove across the wall, so where it's blocked off to gather water in the rain season. Below it is the drainage line, as we call it, or the riverbed, that the water would flow down once the dam is full and the water runs, sort of past the overflow. But this is also a great area for finding leopard because it's that perfect leopard habitat. Nice and thick bush, great to hide in, lots of big trees to climb in. Unlike this area that we're driving, which is really open, and it's good for zebra, like that one and like that one. And that one. This is a pregnant female, the zebra that's crossing. All zebras have got big bellies because they've got the same stomach system as hippos and elephant. They've got hind gut fermenting stomachs, same as a horse. Very different from things like your antelope and giraffe and so on. Got a big stomach. The food is broken down essentially by bacteria, and that means that they have quite a bit of gas as a result of it, and because of it, quite a big stomach as well. So zebras always look like they've got full bellies, even if they are actually very hungry and they're not in good condition. It still looks like it. The rib cage alone creates that cavity. But this female is a bit heavier than usual, and also heavy, sort of low down. Look at the bottom area of the belly, and I'd say she's going to have a foal anywhere in the next few weeks. Also look at her back leg there, right on the back rump, sort of low down. Can you see the stripes look a little bit mangly there? Sort of like they didn't quite line up correctly. And that would be, it's not a very big scar, but that's an old scar from lions most likely. That's something you see quite often, especially on zebra actually. On most other animals, when it heals, you don't see it so easily, but with zebra, you often get it healing a little bit skew almost. I think it was with Scott the other day we were talking, and he said he loves that about zebra, is to see the scars not, the stripes not match up. And of course also lions, when they hunt zebra, they have to grab them often while they're running. Well, almost always. Zebras don't tend to stand still when lions are hunting, they tend to run away. And they can defend themselves very well by biting, funny enough, but also by kicking. I've seen it happen real time in front of me, where a lion jumps on the zebra from the back to try and pull it down, and that zebra gives it a kick that it goes flying. I mean literally flying, that it lands 5-6 yards away. And that's probably what happened from that female, just an old scar from an old lion hunt that went in the favor of the zebra. And now some years later she can have another foal. Whoa, what's that? Oh no, it's a... What was that?
A little something.
Bushbuck. So I just saw a little something moving. The zebras were looking into the bush, not alarmed, but they were looking at something. And I think I could just see the shape of it. I thought maybe a hyena, but it was too low down. So bushbuck probably, which is a very shy antelope, related to kudu and related to nyala. But as the name suggests, they like the thick bush. And they can be very shy. Can you hear those raindrops every now and again, Brian? You'll hear it every now and again. Brian can actually make a lot of sounds that could mimic that, but it sounds like a little raindrop. Boing. And that's a beautiful little frog called a bubbling cassina. Just love the name as well, bubbling cassina. And over the next few days we're going to hear a lot of frog noises after this big rain we had last night. You know, all the small life, the insects and the amphibians and all that starts really kicking into action again. That's a hardy-da ibis you can hear. Ah, ah, ah. Hardy-da. Hardy-da. That's sort of where the name comes from. Hardy-da. Hardy-da ibis. Franklin's, that beautiful whistle. The bird books describe it as the bird saying, "I'm so sad. I'm so sad." It's a black cuckoo. You can hear it again. Oh, that's beautiful. They're looking a bit curious. I presume there's a young buffalo behind us all by itself. That's a bit weird. Let's just show you quickly. That's what they're looking at. What's that about? Now, there's only 2 lions back at the at the buffalo kill. I wonder if this young buffalo maybe got separated in the chaos of the last few nights' hunts. It's too young to be by itself, but there's no other buffalo around. That's very interesting. And this is something you're not going to see much of it, but I want to show you because you never see them. Up in that dead tree, that's the black cuckoo that we can hear. And you should hear it beautifully now looking at it. He's built an extra syllable into that call now. Like most cuckoos, you don't see them very often. They're not always too popular with the other birds because they brood parasites. Where's the little buffalo gone now? Just went walking in here. No, it's walked away, but it's almost strange. Shame. I hope it finds the herd again. It's big enough to survive food-wise. It should be fine. There's a hardy-da calling. Well, we've left the zebra. There was a curious thing, and it was just a few seconds, so it was gone quickly. But there was a young buffalo calf all by itself, presumably, in fact, almost certainly, in the last 3 nights of these lions hunting, it got separated in the herd, and it was just walking past them, but sort of disappeared into the bush again. It should be fine. I mean, they're old enough to eat. It was 8 months old, probably. So we'll keep an eye out for that over the next few days. And in that process, looking for it, we came back to the dam. So we're back this side now. We're going to look around some more, see what else is around, exactly what HD is doing at the moment. So help him look around, see what you can spot, and we'll see you closer to the end of drive.
Hi guys, we're back. Just cruising along this beautiful open area here. And don't forget, tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on Nat Geo Wild is a fantastic premiere called Tiger's Revenge. You really got to try and catch that. It's an amazing, amazing documentary. Really try and catch it if you can. 9 p.m. Eastern tonight on Nat Geo Wild. This area here is teeming with wildlife. At the moment there's these little impala lambs going a little bit crazy, running around, exercising. Let's have a look. I'll show you just now here. Look at these little guys just here. I've got an aircraft just flying overhead, folks. But I've got a couple of little youngsters here that are just doing the rounds, doing a circuit around here, getting their exercise. They're going at speed. They stop for a second, have a little break, and now that's very interesting. Everyone's just looked that way. There's an alarm call going off. Another alarm call. Mothers calling their lambs. A lot of restless mothers here at the moment. And there's a ram chasing a female. Impalas have to be one of the... Look at that, that's fantastic. Impalas have to be one of the most vocal antelope in Africa. They really do make that roaring sound when they're... The snorting sound is definitely sort of an alarm and an intense sort of vocalization that alerts other animals, but in the herd. But they also do it whilst they're rutting. They're not quite in it yet, that's for sure. But there's a couple of rams sort of hanging around, showing their style at the moment. And that was a ram chasing a female. But he will stick with this herd and then try and protect as many females, or dominate over as many females as he possibly can. And the impala rams have these fights, these battles that they're incredible, which to the point that they get so focused they end up sometimes dropping their guard, and predators really take advantage of that. But there's definitely a little bit of unease in the herd, I have to say. They're watching over in front of the vehicle for some reason. There's a lot of unsuspecting ones directly in front of us, but there's a lot of females just looking over that way. This area right here, the reason why I came up here was because it's just an incredibly rich area for grass, and many of the antelope and even the zebra come up here to graze, and it's the safety of this open area that they can see things approaching from afar. Now once the cloak of darkness falls, there's definitely a little bit of an alarm call going on over there. Let's just move up here slowly. They're all looking over that way now. Just going to move to see this other side of the vegetation, folks. I'm just going to have a look through my binoculars and see if we can see anything, but there's definitely a little bit of unease there. They're all gone back to grazing now, but there's a couple of them still looking over that way for some reason, and these are the signs and signals that we get to put the piece together, put the little puzzle together to see if there is any predators around. Because these animals normally see the predators before we do. Now I think the little injured, yeah, I can see, just over here, Vian. Just the car lamb's just at the front there. Yeah, that's him. Keep going in there a bit. Might be very, very hard to see there, folks. We've got very low light, and there's a little individual there that's limping or hopping. It's the one to the right, I think, mate. Right. If you go, it's just behind that, yeah, that one behind the adult. I think he's got a limp. And he's got a little bit of an injury. Now, we're not sure if that little guy's going to come right or not, but we will definitely keep our eyes open for him. Sometimes they can come right, but I'm not really sure what the injuries is. He holds it up. He does put pressure on it when he's just standing or walking slowly, but when he runs, he holds it up. So it is a little bit dark in that shot, folks, because the light has dropped considerably. We've bumped the camera up as hard as we possibly can, but I don't want to put the light on, particularly the prey species. It's very important that we don't highlight the prey species and we don't put the light directly in their eyes. We'll just put a little bit of a wash over them, but that can detract them from concentration, and predators may take advantage of that, so we don't want to do that. That's why I'm leaving the light off and just leaving it as it is. But the light is definitely dropping fast. Isn't that sky beautiful? Just going to keep looking through these binoculars to see. There's a couple of sounds coming from over there. When it comes to animals getting warning, we'll see what happens. I just want to drive up a little bit closer. I'll just knock that light on, please, Liam. That interior light, please, mate. So yes, I might be a prey species as well, but I'm in the safety of this vehicle, so I can have a light on me, and hopefully I'll survive. There's a wildebeest coming through here. We'll just let you pass, my friend. I'm just going to shine our light just over yonder here. So we'll just get a little bit of our lighting on now. These aren't spotlights, these lights are just really beautiful wash lights, and they just give a really soft sort of wash over there. As you can see, it's very, very gentle. This is the spotlight we use, and we use it very, very cautiously, in the sense that we really respect it's a very different pointed sort of circle that we watch there, and it just gives us a little bit more information, because as diurnal primates, which we are, we don't have a fantastic sense of sight at night. Just drive on a little bit further. Further, I mean, it was just a couple of snorts. Normally, if it is a predator, they'll latch onto that pretty quickly, but not always. You might get a predator that's using this dropping of light to do his or her best to stay very, very low. And leopard are the absolute kings and queens of that stalking, that stealth. That's what they're known for. I like to just go around the perimeter of this area, just have a little look. Isn't that sky fantastic? Just have a look up there, guys. That's just really fantastic. Beautiful. Sorry, I just thought I heard something then. So all we've done is just put some lights on now. They're washed lights out the front, out the sides. They're very, very gentle. And these headlights, which we've got some LEDs on the front as well. It's really nice to explain to you a little bit about the vehicle too. You know, this has been specifically designed for WildSafari Live. This is what it's all about. This vehicle, we look after Zanelli, this is this vehicle, and Jigger, Pete's vehicle, with tender loving care. We make sure that they're all tucked up in bed at night, as I think I've mentioned before. But they've got all the equipment on here we need to show you these beautiful pictures live from Djuma and Arathusa game reserves in Sabi Sands, South Africa. And I think that's what I love so much. I think we've only got about 6 minutes to go, and I just enjoy this so much, as does Pete. Pete and I, and Scott, another guide that helps us in the mornings, is giving a bit of a break to Pete and I. Really wonderful guy as well. So you know what, folks, I think we can talk about the vehicle another time because there's loads to talk about, but for me, I'd like to probably just say to you farewell and cross to Pete, because I want to give him some time with those lions particularly. It's been fantastic to have you on board again, as always. Your questions are fantastic, your support is fantastic, and don't forget, tonight at 9 PM Eastern on Nat Geo Wild, Tiger's Revenge. It's a premiere. Really try and watch that because it's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant documentary. And for me, you know, on Nat Geo channel, watching Nat Geo as a young man, as a baby, I was nearly watching Nat Geo. It's an absolute privilege to be talking to you today, live from South Africa. So folks, we'll see you tomorrow night, our time. Really been a brilliant time. I've enjoyed it immensely, and we'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.
Well, welcome back, and we were planning to say goodbye with the lions. I'm going to find them again now, I think, because as we got there, they started moving off. There we go. There in front, you can see one. It's going through some sort of low-lying brush here. And we've got about 5 minutes to go for the drive. And these guys got up as we arrived, which is brilliant, because obviously we like to see them when they're moving. Now, I saw some very interesting behavior just now. Here we're coming up to them. Awesome. We're going to see at least 2 of them, 3 of them. Brilliant. There they are. But I saw some very interesting behavior from the last one, the one that we started following before they went into this thick stuff. Is he was scent marking. He was rubbing. There he's doing it again. You see there? Look at that. Look at that. The tail up. I know it's tricky to see because of the terrain, but he was scent marking with these. They've got these glands in their whiskers, sort of facial glands, and then they've got, obviously they scent mark with the urine they spray. Now that's interesting behavior because these are nomads. They're not dominant males, and we've been hypothesizing about, you know, what could happen. We were talking last night while standing under a thatch roof. Long story of that, traveling back in the rain. Graham and Scott and us, and again spoke with HT as well earlier. But the chance that these lions might, you know, feel a bit confident now. They've got 4 days worth of buffalo in their belly. And they're also in this grey area between the two different prides. The Matimbas, which Ephraim and them got tracks of two of the males to the east of here this morning, and the Majingilanis to the west of us. Those are the dominant male coalitions. These guys are in this sort of corridor between those two prides. And with all these buffalo carcasses around, oh, that line just got up and ran somewhere. Well, why was that? Sorry, not that one, the one in the back there. So let's just see. If there is something happening, these two will respond to it. What's that about? Alright, so just quickly to recap on that, we've got very little time left. I mean, apart from all the amazing adventures we had with them last night, but it's not impossible that in the next few days, the dominant males of either the western side, the Matimbas, or the western side being the Majingilanis, or to the eastern side, the Matimbas, might come into this area. There's been vultures around, things that show them there's other big predators, and that could be very interesting because these guys as nomads would either have to leave or maybe decide, listen, it's time to stand up. It's time to maybe make a stand for this. So that is a definite possibility in the next few days. And the fact that this line was scent marking just now, that really got me thinking, because that shows a certain amount of confidence. And I certainly saw a lot of confidence last night in these lions. So I'm very curious about what's going to be happening over the next few days if these cats stick around, and more importantly, if the other cats pull into the area and suddenly we have, you know, what shall we call it, you know, sort of activity in lion land, because yeah, that's a very, very real possibility, and that would be amazing to see and to experience. But for now, that's the end of the Safari Live Drive this afternoon. It's been brilliant as always, and let's get up here a little bit. And yeah, I just want to say thank you for joining us. From myself, Peter Pretorius, and Brian on the vehicle, also from Hayden Turner and VM, Graham and Will, and everyone else back in control. We will still tell you all those names again. I always feel bad not saying everyone's name. We really are a team out here. So thank you guys, and most importantly, thank you for joining us on this awesome experience during Big Cat Week. Big Cat Week. All right, you must have a lovely time. We're going to stick with this lion for another little bit of time, as much as we have left with you, just in case something happens. The other one also went off. It's night time in the bush. That's when the big cats prowl.
Start and end your day on safari. Every day, twice a day through January 31st, join a real African safari live online. Come face to face with lions